was 3 months clicking a button on a website to pass over £430 and then to pay £70 to receive Housemarque's first official exclusive PlayStation 5 game. What could possibly go wrong? It's important that I state my passion for this game. Now let me just explain to you how big an impact Housemarque had on me, A as a YouTuber, B as a gamer, and C as just somebody who realised that a studio like that was after something that wasn't seen in every game. They had something special. All of the big name reviewers spoke about their back catalogue, not one of them mentioned Alienation. Broke my heart. Skill Up was like, I think they might have done Ex Machina. It was annoying, and I could tell. Now I'm going out on a limb here, I don't think they did that first boss. I think they got codes from Housemarque to show level 2, because I'm sat here 8 weeks after launch, 25 hours in. I cannot do that boss. I have the best runs possible. I get the carbine, I get all of the cool buffs, some great consumables, even the astronaut figure for the life, even a recharge for my life. So I've nearly got 3 lives. Third wave on that first boss is horrible because it changes up too much and you're just completely exhausted by that point. This is more than devastating to me because I think I'm personally Housemarque's biggest fan. I put some of their games on my 5 more couch co-op lists that are into over 500,000 views. I have pushed that studio in front of everybody that comes on this channel religiously. So you've got to understand how big a issue this is for me. But we had a patch drop. We had a patch drop today, 1.004. So I leapt onto the machine because I saw a balance fix in the patch notes. I saw a frickin' balance fix. I nearly lost my shit. Even more of a kick in the proverbials, the game style and pace is something I am so used to. I'm a big Nier 2 fan. I bloody love anything that's a third-person ARPG, Sekiro, The Surge. The harder, the better. I don't care about big bosses that are multi-stage. I don't care about dying and losing everything on a permadeath level. You've only got to look at my channel to see how obsessed with roguelikes I am. And again, the harder, the better. So I am so disappointed with myself that I can't get past this boss, and I'm also extremely angry that I can't see this beautiful game. If it wasn't for the brilliant procedural generation on the tile system with this first world, I would have walked away from this weeks ago and just said no more, because this brick wall, although it's a beautiful brick wall, is solid. It's also not just me. I've got a gaming mate who is of similar prowess when it comes to difficult, horrible, nasty little indie games that make you play 4 hours and then just kick you. We are used to this system, but there's some issues here, and it's to do with some of the RNG choices, and it's also to do with reroll, particularly on boss reroll. And I've got a pitch later in the video that I think could fix this game. But anyway, patch 1.004, the balance issues, you're probably thinking, get to it, Coop, is this game accessible now for everybody? Well, no. I noticed nothing, so I sat for 2.5 hours this afternoon and did a couple of runs and really tried to look for better drops, even slightly easier tiles, or something that is pointing me towards some better rewards or making me a bit stronger, ready for that boss. There was nothing that pointed in that direction whatsoever. I did notice a few more pick-up consumables, but that's another thing. The consumables are borderline useless, and one of them is like things that come out of the ground, like a special ability. They're just not like, oh wow, I've got X, Y, and Z consumable, the boss is going to be fine now. That is never a thing. The only time it's a thing is if you get that freaking carbine or that shotgun, then you're in for a chance. Now there's people probably listening to me thinking, and the first boss with the pistol, you bloody casual. That bloody pistol, I can't stand it because it's got a two-way firing system, i.e. you keep your finger on it and you get a solid pulse and you can better get the reactive reload, or you slam it loads like back in 1992 to try and get as many bullets out of the damn thing as possible, which will force you into missing your active reload and ruin your fingers. Trust me, the pistol is the only thing I bloody play with because I die so soon.
Oh, you're kidding.
That brings me to the insultingly bad drops. Even after this patch, the amount of times I've waltzed up to a weapon and it's got awful stats, might have a slightly different special, but why bother showing me something like that? And it's such a headache because you've probably killed something really big for that and taken big hits on your life, and it's not till you approach that little red marker when you realise it was all just a freaking waste of time. It's the same pistol but just with that damned electricity special. But just let me go back a few steps because I've got off track a little bit on the rant front. I freaking love this game, okay? Its Promethean / Geiger-esque world is bang on for me. I love the palette and I love the way it looks and feels and sounds. My first hour and a half with this game was one of the most exhilarating of all the PlayStation 5 games I've ever played. It was totally top and I was like, Housemarque, you legends, you have made us a complete gem. And then I'm suddenly realising that what I'm seeing is all I'm going to see at the moment, unless I'm going to put in a 12-hour pistol pumping session rigged up to the mains to try and improve my reaction speed. There's also a massive elephant in the room with resolution. I don't know if you guys have read in the press, but this doesn't run at 4K. We're looking at 1080, and I can confirm that on the upload. That's devastating again. Against the whole Biomutant thing, the best PlayStation studio has released a PlayStation 5 exclusive that for me is borderline unplayable and doesn't even run at 4K. Yes, we have 60 frames per second, but that's criminal. You're looking at one of my best runs actually. You just saw the astronaut come into play there and give me a full bar of second life, and this guy is on his first phase, so we're about to get him down to the next tick. His second phase I can kind of deal with. It's the third phase that the issues are on. Now most roguelikes of this caliber or of this difficulty will have a boss reroll system that means that you won't always get the most difficult boss within that set of 3 maybe. They should start interchanging them and have at least one of the 3 be a piss easy boss, just to give you a good head start at maybe doing a run through on an early playthrough. Do you get what I mean? I think it might be an issue because these bosses are in their tailored arenas. You'd have to start pulling around the code and it would be a nightmare. But that's what they should have done, is they should have had the bosses on an interchangeable reroll system, and some of them have been easier than others, because that guy is I'm seeing him when I shut my eyes at night. I don't think this is a Cuphead journalist situation either, where the people reviewing it or myself are just not hardcore gamer enough for a piece of software like this, but you need to trust me on it. I love difficult games, and this one is not fun, and this one is not opening up enough for me. And the Heartbreaker is from one of my favourite studios in the world, and what I've seen at the later levels, they're looking awesome. Its astronomical price is also baffling for me. You look at a game like Godfall, which is shit and probably about 50 quid now, but this is still sat proudly at 70. I went in the CEX the other day to see what they were extorting, and yeah, it's 60 quid pre-owned in there. No, that I never have spent so much on a piece of software and seen such a small amount of it. So I'm very worried, and I hope there's going to be more patches, because it wasn't small, that 004 at all, and the list of fixes were huge. There was loads of bug fixes, which, by the way, haven't troubled my playthrough at all. Say playthrough with my tongue nearly poking clean out of my cheek. So what are we going to do, Coop? We're going to just wait, and we're going to see if they put in not an easy mode, because this is another thing that I'm seeing on a lot of YouTube videos is Returnal needs an easy mode, and like the crying emoji and all this, like, you're not a hardcore gamer. I tell you something funny, but there's a YouTuber that did a Monster Hunter Rise let's play, and he'd never made it before, and he obviously slammed into some of the worst brick wallery available, and it was pure fun to watch because I knew what he was doing wrong, and I knew he just had to make a few adjustments to fix things. Not the case with this, is it? And I want to hear in the comments about people who have smashed this on their first run. Please, ACG, right, and you little skill up, I think you've moved out of your parents' house now, but if you're allowed to send emails, pop me one and just show me playthrough of that first boss. No one's emailing Coop, are they? I've taken to only using the sword and melee on those beginner level enemies and just ignoring all projectile until I get fired upon, and I don't think they want that as a gameplay angle. I think they want you to be using the gun, but it's too much of a damned hassle pumping that trigger. It's easier just going one shot on them with that sword, so maybe that needs nerfing and the pistol needs buffing. I don't know, but watch this space closely because I think we're going to see more from Housemarque. And another thing is, when these PlayStation 5s all become readily available to normies and they look at this, because they'll go straight out and all buy the PlayStation 5 exclusives, there'll be anger. There will be anger. And things will get changed then. I just think it's because you've got two gates to go through. You've got to get a PlayStation 5 and you've got to be into Housemarque and sort of indie gaming to understand how good a studio they were to justify that cost. And so these people are a bit like me. They're like, well, I'll just chew through it, but I'm sick of chewing. I have been Couch Coop. I hope you enjoyed that. Stay tuned. We've got loads more PlayStation 5 content coming. I've got a new 5 more Couch Co-op PS4 coming out. As always, I will see you down there, and skill up. I'm looking forward to that playthrough, mate.